Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. We are stuck indoors because it's brutally cold, and I decided I'm going to do a few knot videos. There's a lot of knots out there, but I'm going to narrow it down to 4 or 5 of my favorite knots, and these will be individual videos. These are knots that I think everybody should know because there's certain situations and specific times that we will use these knots. First one we're going to talk about is a Snell knot. Now this is a knot that I typically use when I'm punching. When I'm punching heavy cover, grass mats, basically just grasses when I tend to lean on the Snell knot. Now you can use it in other situations, but for me personally, I'm just using it when I'm punching, or just not even really punching, but when I'm flipping around grass. You can do a lighter Texas rig. It doesn't have to be like a 1 ounce or ounce and a quarter, ounce and a half, 2 ounces. Even for a 3/8 ounce or something where you're flipping in holes, the Snell knot is something that you might want to consider. The beauty of the Snell knot is it has a camming action, which is something kind of unique to this knot, and we'll talk about that after we get it tied up. But today we're going to just be using this is a straight out flipping hook. And one thing I will say before we get into this is this keeper. This is very important. Is you want, when you're tying your Snell, you want to make sure that your knot is between the keeper and the line tie, but I'll show you that here in a second. So normally when I'm punching, I'm going to be putting on a couple bobber stops first of all. I like to put 2 bobber stops on, but for this demonstration, it's not important to have the bobber stops, but we do need a weight. So we just got a tungsten weight here. It doesn't really matter what size for now. I'm going to turn this overhead light on so we can see a little bit better. But we're just going to, we put our weight on there. We're going to just slide it out of the way. So let's grab our hook. Important. Go in the front of the line tie, not the back of the line tie. Here's the point of your hook. You're going to be going in the front, not the knot, not the back. If you go in the back, the camming action is going to go away. You want that camming action to go this way, right into the roof of the fish's mouth. So we're going to go into the front of the line tie. So we're going to run this hook, this line right through here. So now what we're going to do is pull this tag line down a little bit, and we're going to make a loop. Making a nice little loop right here, okay? And we're gonna grab it, we're gonna pinch. So we've got a loop right here. Here is our keeper. You see the keeper right there? And there is our line tie. So I'm gonna grab right here, I'm gonna pinch this right here. So this gives me freedom with this hand right here. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap 5 times in between the line tie and the keeper. So we're just wrapping it around. And you wanna wrap forward. So the first wrap is going to be as closest to the keeper as possible, and then just keep continually wrapping forward. And it's not crucial. It's still gonna work if you mess that up, but just kind of practice tying it like that. But we're gonna say that is 5 times right there. Okay. So now we've got everything wrapped right here. Still got that loop. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our tag in and we're gonna run it back through that loop. We should have left a little bit more tagline to make this easier, but we're gonna somehow roll this sucker over. Okay, there we go. Tagline is through the loop. So now what we want to do is we want to kind of pinch it right here, and I'm going to just pull our main line. You're just going to pull your main line, slide it forward, and I wish I could show you this, but what it's going to do is it's going to cause everything to cinch up. See how that cinched up? I had to kind of hold it so you couldn't see it, but that loop, as you're pulling this, that loop is going to get tighter and tighter and tighter, and it's going to gather right here. Now we've got a Snell. It's not going anywhere. It's super, super tight. You just want to take your scissors. I don't cut it all the way to the wraps. I mean, I'll leave probably like a 1/4 of an inch. So something like that. It's not going to matter. This is going to be covered up by plastic. So let's look at what it does. Slide our weight back here like this. Look at that. So as you pull, as you set the hook, let's pretend there's a plastic. Actually, I brought a plastic. Let's put a little beaver style plastic on there. I'll just rig that up. Kind of go in at a slight angle to match the angle of the keeper. And we'll just slide that sucker up there. Like that. It's not perfect, but it'll work. So what we've got here is this camming action. You see how this cam? Boom, it slides forward. This is kind of a secondary action. So when you set the hook, that fish has got this bait like that. when you cam it, it kicks the hook up into the fish's mouth. So no matter which way that bait is lying in the fish's mouth, it's going to force that hook to go up and find a home. Very critical part of punching. I mean, you can catch them just tying a San Diego jam knot, and most of the time that works. But this year I had a couple days out there where I was having problems getting a hook in the fish, and I started snelling that knot, snelling that hook. I mean, look at that action. So that's it. That's a knot. It's really easy to learn. You can do it with any kind of line, any pound test, it doesn't matter. But if you're missing fish while you're punching in close quarters or you're flipping in grass and stuff, definitely consider that punch rig. Give me a thumbs up if you appreciate this content, and consider subscribing to the channel. Until next time.